YTBC, what's the deal? So this is a response video to Shady Slim. He came out with a video, welterweights versus the heavyweights, and he wanted a response probably from, a guy like myself or Dan the Man Boxing or Blood Boxing. He mentioned our names in his video, so I'm going to go ahead and respond to Shady Slim. And this does come down to, what do you like more, heavyweights or welterweight? I'm just a big heavyweight fan. Been one since the late 80s when I would start watching boxing with my father, my uncles, so on and so forth. But now we're on YouTube, and the welterweight division has been very popular, with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, Cotto and Margarito when they were fighting, some years ago. So I respect the welterweight division. Actually, one of my favorite fighters growing up fought at welterweight. And he's not somebody that, you guys probably going to know, but Kevin Pompey, Mr. Excitement, was one of my favorite fighters as a kid growing up, watching Tuesday night. What was that? The Tuesday night USA Network fights. He would fight on there. He would fight for little minor titles, NABF, titles like that. But he was one of my favorites growing up, Kevin Pompey. Kind of remind me of a welterweight Evander Holyfield almost, you know what I mean? But anyways, the reason the heavyweight division to me is better than the welterweight division, putting aside my bias, is I just think, and maybe it's just me knowing more about the heavyweight division, but in my opinion, it's better because it's way deeper. Now, you named 3 fighters that the heavyweight division have. You named the usual suspects, Tyson Fury, Wilder, and then you said Joshua. Then you said Klitschko doesn't count because he's out, he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out as far as retirement. The division is way more than 4 fighters, man. Now, you said the welterweight, you guys are 10 deep, and the heavyweights, in my opinion, are 40 to 50 deep right now. Some of you may laugh and say, oh no, there's no way. You just have that opinion because you cover the division, and that might, you might be right. But to me, the talent gap isn't as wide as some of you may think. The experience and some of these guys having one punch knockout power, but the talent gap isn't as wide. Now, the welterweight division, does have some good fighters. I can't lie, the top 10 is pretty decent. It's damn good. But they got to fight each other, you know what I mean? You look at the heavyweights, Tyson Fury, guy you named, and I'm just on BoxRec. So I'm looking at BoxRec, Tyson Fury, and I'm not just naming these guys because of BoxRec. I know who all these guys are because I've seen them fight 4 to 5 plus times, depending on who they are and how many fights they've had. All these guys are worth watching. Tyson Fury, Klitschko, Povetkin, Wilder, Kubrat Pulev. I would like to see him come over to the States and get a fight. Luis Ortiz, Charles Martin, Malik Scott. A lot of people give him, a bad rap for the Deontay Wilder fight. A lot of people thought he took a dive. But Malik Scott, after he fought Tony Thompson, a lot of guys on here were saying he's the most technically skilled boxer. You know what I mean? Then 2 weeks later, Luis Ortiz fighting, people think he's the most technically skilled boxer. It's just in the YTBC, it's like a flavor of the month. You know what I mean? And right now, or the last 5-6 years, the flavor of the month was the welterweight division because of Floyd and Pacquiao. Continue. Erkin Tepper, he will be out for 2 years, but he was interesting when he was around. Tarver, I'll still put Tarver in there. Shit, he got a draw with, who did Tarver just draw with? Was it Cunningham? Steve Cunningham. Joseph Parker, another guy who you didn't mention. Usually when people mention Anthony Joshua, they mention Joseph Parker. Carlos Takam, another underrated guy that nobody ever talks about. Go check out the fight with him and Povetkin. Go check out his fight with Tony Thompson. Tsar Glaskov. Bermain Stavern is still around. Ruslan Chagaev's getting ready to fight. Who was Chagaev getting ready to fight? Lucas Brown. There are some good contenders out there. You know what I mean? Mike Perez, I like to see him back. Yes, he got knocked out by Povetkin, but shit, he had he gave Jennings some problems. I like to see him fight. Amir Mansour is getting ready to fight Dominic Brazil. Brian Jennings, like to see him back. Arthur Spilka, he just had he just got knocked out, but shit, this happens in boxing, especially in the heavyweight division. So we just can't count on Arthur Spilka. You know what I mean? Even if you look at some of the prospects that I cover, man, even they're worth watching right now. Hughie Fury is a guy that I like to see more of. Trevor Bryan is a guy I like to see more of. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is getting ready to fight. Who's getting ready to fight? Donovan Dennis. getting ready to fight him. Arnold Jerichai is another 29-0 heavyweight that needs to come stateside if he wants a big fight. Adrian Ganot's one of the taller, bigger fighters, so I'm keeping an eye on. Oscar Rivas is probably the best 6 foot and under prospect right now up in Canada. He's up in Canada. He needs to be fighting Dylan Carmen instead of fucking Dylan Carmen fighting 51-year-old Razor Ruddock. George Arias, people saying he might be the next Mike Tyson. I don't think he is, but he's something to watch. There's a lot of things to watch. Cruiserweights. Alexander Usyk, who might move up to heavyweight. He's another one to watch. Tom Schwartz from Germany is another one to watch. How about Iju Aganu, who is stablemates with Joseph Parker? I would need to do a video about that because I think Iju Aganu is kind of playing second fiddle to Parker. They train together. You know, they're in the same team. Whenever Parker has a title, Agano has the minor title that's under it. You know, I'm not really sure about them being partners like that. You know, so there are a lot of guys, man, that are out there for us to keep an eye on. You know, what would I say? Spilka, maybe Spilka can come back. I want to see Spilka come back, man. I know he got knocked out bad, but I like Spilka, man. You know, I really do. And he gave Deontay Wilder all that Deontay Wilder can handle. And this is a guy people calling a bum, and who came up with the video saying, hey, man, this ain't going to be a bum fight. Yours truly. I told everybody it's not going to be a bum fight. I actually had Spilka up 4-3-1 up until the point that he got knocked out. And if Spilka comes back, I'd like to see him on PBC against Adam Konaski. Who was Konaski with, man? An Al Hammond fighter. You know, has a Polish following, brings about 600 Polish fans to his fights. A guy you probably never heard of. Now, I'm not spitting out all these names to show you how much I know or how much you don't know or anything like that. It's just to tell you, man, that maybe some of you guys need to do breakdowns of the welterweight divisions the way I'm doing it with the heavyweight division, so we could be more in tune with what's going on. Because besides the top 7 or 8 guys y'all talk about in the welterweights, I don't really know anybody else. You know, I give you prospects, contenders. Trevor Bryan is another guy I want to see. Huey Fury, David Hayes back. Go on and on. Sergey Kuzmin, he's another one to look out for. A little Russian high guard, come forward type guy. There's a lot of dudes out here. Dillian White, what is he going to do? I'd like to see him come back. I named about 30 guys, man. And the list goes on and on and on. John Wesley No Fire, another American who's undefeated that I want to see more of. Travis Kaufman, who just got robbed against Areola. I'd like to see him back on the card. You know, so there's a lot of guys I want to see, man. But I think you're wrong about this one, but it's just my opinion. And we all have different opinions. YTBC, I'm out.